Good evening and welcome to MTG Profits. We are up to episode number 15. My name is Devin and I'm joined as always by my co-host Andy.
Hey everybody.
And today we're going to talk about the Orzov Guild. We've had a little series about picks relating to the currently unreleased guilds and the upcoming in Ravnica Allegiance. Before we get into that, we're going to talk about a little bit of news. But even before that, I wanted just to plug our website once again, mtgprofits.com. Full of juicy content for you guys. It's always sometimes nice to be able to look at something as opposed to just always hearing our melodious voices.
I know you love it, but
exactly.
Click on the links. We also throw in links to the news items that we talk about. So, instead of you having to search for it, we've already searched for it. So go check out the link, and we're going to be having more and more episodes of Arena going on, and with different styles and formats and decks and all sorts of things. So check those out too. You can look at those on YouTube or go to MTG Profits and click on the links from there.
Absolutely. This week I'm losing my voice a little bit, so bear with me. I'll try to keep this audible. And I think we're going to start off with some news that Andy had brought to the forefront here, talking a little bit about MTG Arena. Did you want to go over some things?
I think this was something that was posted by Wizards themselves. This was I think end of last week is when it popped up here. There's been a lot of talk about esports and what's coming next for Magic, and we talked about some of these pro tours and the money-making aspect and how that all works out. And it seems to me that Magic is kind of doing a little bit of a rebranding. They're going more now for their next chapter, which is what are they calling it again? It's the Mythic. What's it called? MTG. Well, there's MTG Arena, but there's I think two new structures for their tournament levels, I guess you'd call it. So tabletop events were formerly called Pro Tours, so now they're going to be called Mythic Championships.
Oh goodness!
So there's a name change there, and the other one was they're really stepping up MTG Arena. So that's going to be more of their digital format there and way to play. So for MTG Arena, you'd be able to actually use that to qualify for some things. What else is going on?
I think that's kind of curious how they'll allow you to qualify using the Arena.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious how that's going to work out. Yeah,
it seems like they're really pushing hard. I think they're hoping for some of that esports cash. I think they're I think they might be a little bit late to the game in this regard. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think so too. I think this is kind of a desperation move to try to catch up.
Yeah.
They're offering bigger prize pools. They're having all these Magic top-ranked players coming in, offering them streamer contracts and money to compete. They'll be doing profiles of them. I don't know. I think it is just kind of a catching up on everything else, because when you I don't know, they're a little late to the game as far as the esports part of it goes. And Arena is great, and I think that it's kind of a good platform that they can build off of, but it might be a little too late.
I think it's a little tough thing. I think they're I know they're after some of that Hearthstone money. It's funny.
Absolutely.
They even bring the pro Hearthstone players in to stream the games that used to play Magic. The Magic players that jumped ship and went to go Hearthstone streaming, and now they're like, oh, well, come play some Magic Arena, or they're sort of using the more higher profile of the Hearthstone players to get people to look at the Magic. Which I guess is not a bad idea. Try to bring in people that have not played Magic.
Sure.
I guess I think that's probably their angle, is to hey, you look at Hearthstone. Look at this. This is a better game than Hearthstone. Check it out. Look at Hearthstone players play this, dummies. Like,
Yeah.
I will say, like, and I've always thought this, and this is, again, coming from someone who's played for, my entire adult life
Sure.
effectively. I think Magic's really boring to watch.
Absolutely.
I think it's really tough. I think it's going to be a really tough sell. I mean, I play a lot. I don't play a lot. I used to play a ton. I play more casually now, but I feel like even for me, I would not watch a streamed game of Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know, unless you really had a very entertaining player or host, I don't know how you'd really make it that
Oh God,
exciting to watch.
it really is very dry to watch. It's like watching. It's probably like watching golf or baseball or something even maybe worse. You
I
know,
don't know if it's worse than those two, though.
I, it might be.
Golf is so painful to
I,
watch.
I don't know. I really think Magic doesn't have a lot going for it. There's like, when you're playing the game, you're only feeling 50% of the downtime. You're
Sure.
feeling the downtime on your opponent's turn. When you're watching a game, you're feeling nothing but downtime, and
Yeah.
it's pretty freaking dry because you're not connected to the game. You don't care who wins or loses, and you're not paying that much attention. So you'll look away for a moment, you'll talk with somebody, blah blah blah. You'll get sip a drink or something,
Yeah.
and then you go back and you're like, oh, what happened? Oh, geez. I'm not interested anymore. It's like so easy to lose track, and it's so honestly not that engaging to begin with. So I think while I can appreciate their intent and desire for the esports cash, I don't really know how that's going to work out.
Yeah, yeah, and for me personally as well, bringing in these, uh, tournament level players and personalities or whatever, it doesn't really do anything for me. I granted that maybe they're very smart individuals and they apparently, they obviously know how to play well and make good decks and things like that, but I don't know how that doesn't offer any appeal to me. I don't know their personalities. I'm really not gonna probably know one from the other.
Exactly.
It's not like a pro sport, basketball or something who have, such star players that are, that I
Yeah,
guess exciting to watch or something.
it is tough. It
It's,
is a tough
it's someone
sort of.
putting a card on a table or someone clicking a mouse button to, perform an action in the game. It's not.
Exactly. There's really, it's not very appealing to watch, and I think it's tough. I don't know. I think it's a tough sell. We'll see how it goes. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people are
Maybe.
gonna love that shit.
Maybe
But I
but
kind of
I
doubt it.
can't see. I think they're gonna throw all this money at it. They're gonna put these big $10 million prize pool across digital and tabletop magic. They said more than double that
I
was.
also like how they don't tell you how much is going to which option either. I bet you it's gonna be
Yeah,
like 7 million to arena and like 3 million to cardboard.
absolutely. And I mean, I like the arena. I think it's a good platform to go on and build on, and I kind of like the idea that maybe me too could somehow like play, from my home, and I could somehow compete. But I don't know. I think it's a lot of flash, and I don't know if it's really gonna amount to anything.
Yeah, it'll be curious to see how that unfolds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see. I think I don't know. They're trying some new things and they're trying it with money. Well, one thing I looked at too. I mean, we hear about esports all quite a bit lately, and even some of these famous eStore personalities are showing up in commercials like Ninja and these other people.
Yeah.
And I don't think you're ever gonna see that with a Magic player selling cell phones or something. It's just not gonna happen.
My name is Paulo Vitor Demo da Rosa. I,
Exactly. I use Sprint Wireless.
I, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Oh
And
boy.
just out of comparison to give people kind of an idea too. I mean, you look at the prize pools and some of for the other major esports titles.
Oh God.
So just
That's
in
legend.
2017, a total prize pool across this is for the five largest esport games came out to $78 million.
Holy cow. That is
And
crazy.
that was across the five biggest being, this is 2017 now, a little old, but
Well, we probably don't have the 2018 numbers yet, so
yeah,
maybe not.
DOTA 2, League of Legends, Counter-Strike Global Offensive,
Let's see.
Heroes of the Storm, and Call of Duty.
Wow, Heroes of the Storm is up there. I didn't realize that
I would have
that many
thought
people
that
played
either.
it.
But
Yeah.
and the number one, the one with the largest prize pool of all of those, was Defense of the Ancients 2, the DOTA 2.
I know they're struggling a little bit, I think, to keep their numbers up. So I think they use larger prize pool to
The prize pool, they had
keep
the
their.
largest prize pool of 24 million.
Wow, it's huge.
So we're talking big money on some of these. And, those are actually sort of exciting to watch.
They are. Like, if you watch that stuff, if you watch like a game of those, you're like, stuff's happening. People are shooting each other in like these CS:GO and things, and then like in like League of Legends, you'll see the build up, or all of a sudden a big team fight breaks out, and they're like, and the announcers are like, holy shit, shit's going down, and then it's just by its nature, it's more exciting.
Exactly. I can especially see that, something like Call of Duty, where there's people running all around shooting and very fast-paced action that, I don't need to know the cards. I don't need to know the strategy. I don't need to know really anything about it.
You understand shooting and blasting.
Exactly. And it looks fun and it's fast and
exactly.
It's cool. So
yeah, it appeals more widely. And, honestly, there are way more video game players than there are Magic players.
Absolutely.
So, they got that going for them too,
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't think it'll ever get to levels like these. But, I mean, they're giving it a shot. So we'll see.
I guess in other news, more slightly to the financial, we've got the Ultimate Masters booster boxes have shipped. I know I got mine, I want to say yesterday in the mail.
Oh, wow.
And,
did you rip into it?
Oh, no.
Open up that box topper?
No, it's going to stay in its little sealed compartment. It will not be opened. So it's going to sit up there with the iconic Masters and the Masters 25, and I still think I have an Eternal Masters, although I think I sold most of those. So far, the Masters sets have done well for me. Like, except for this the iconic and the M25, they're still sitting up there unsold. But I'm actually relatively confident, and one of the things that lends a little bit of confidence is so now that the cards have been released, there has been a massive rush to sell a lot of the singles. And some of these single prices have dropped dramatically. And it's important to note, being a financial show, I'm not typically one to, buy these expensive staples, but some of these suckers are bouncing around like crazy on the eBay. Though, like Liliana was as low as $38,
Wow.
and then like 2 hours later up to 55. And then down to 42, and then up to 60. So, like, the prices are just all over the place. And I think there's a decent amount of panic selling and people that's trying to lock in some of the gains in fear that the prices are going to tank. So it's putting a little bit of pricing pressure on the cards, dropping them to, heretofore unseen prices, like the Tarmy in the low 40s.
I'm looking at some numbers here right now, and this is courtesy of MTG Goldfish, that some of those big ones, the Cavern of Souls, for 4 Ultimate Masters, $83. Current price, $43.
And they were down as low as, I want to say the low point that was yesterday was in the 30s. I want to say 33, 32.
Karn Liberated, $95 down to $54. Liliana, $92 down to $61. Snapcaster, $79 down to $42. The biggest drop here looks like Vengevine, $45 down to $16.
Yeah, so prices are getting hammered, and I think honestly that's a lot of stores dumping a lot of their inventory. They crack these boxes, they want to sell them quick, they want to turn these things around quickly, because I think retail, I want to say wholesale distribution price is around, I think it's between 180 and 200 a box or something.
Yeah.
So they want to sell these things almost instantly, and turn that into like 240 to 260 bucks. And the nice thing is that Even so, now the expected value per box is, I want to say, 230 or 240, but
Okay.
the price for sealed boxes is holding at 280.
Mm.
So usually, for current run sets, the expected value and the price per box is pretty tight. It's pretty close.
Okay.
So in this case, that's not the case. So the actual sealed product is maintaining a higher price point than its expected value. That doesn't happen often. It happened relatively recently with Ixalan, as those were not very opened boxes, and the price per box, went up to, I want to say, the 120 level, 120s, which is
Okay.
pretty high. So then what happens, of course, is stores open boxes because the expected value is higher than the cost. So
Yeah.
that's how they make their money. So whenever you get like arbitrage numbers that are substantial like that, where there's a difference that's enough to have them start opening packs, they start opening packs. So. So it's nice to see that the per box price is holding, and I'm still confident that that'll sell pretty well later. So I'm just gonna sit on that for a year or two and dump
I'm
it later.
still too rich for my blood to pay the
Uh,
80 or whatever it is for a box.
it is pricey to sit on that, and I want to say I got it in at 263. It was
Yeah.
262.99, I believe, is what I paid.
Yeah. I don't know. I have a hard time devoting that much money into this. I could
Yeah,
stand a standard type box of, between
like
80 and
100.
100, but that's just too much to swallow for me.
Yeah, it is. It is a huge. You know what it is? It ties up your $250 for like 2 years. So
Exactly,
you
exactly.
know,
That's a big chunk
you,
right there.
it's like. Plus, you got other things to spend your money on, like baby formula right now. So
Exactly. There's plenty of other
you're
expenses besides a box that will sit on a shelf.
collecting dust.
Exactly, exactly. But the benefit is, like you mentioned, it's dropped the prices on a lot of these cards. So if you did want to build with them or pick up
Yeah,
a set,
it's not a bad
uh,
time to do so.
yeah, exactly.
Not a bad time to do so. In fact, it's probably been the best it's been in quite some time. So I
Still,
think
with that
it's,
note, though, there's not really many of those cards that I really want to pick up,
you
honestly.
know, if I had a reason to, if I was playing in a modern tournament or something and I needed my Lilianas, I probably would have already had them by now. But
Yeah,
but
exactly.
it's kind of it's an expense that I wouldn't. I'm not a fan of buying 30 something, 40 something dollar cards in
Yeah.
hopes of then flipping them later. I'm more of a sealed product guy at those levels. I'll buy singles that are like sub 10, below $10, but once they get over 10, I'm like, oof, I don't know.
I agree. You still have, your price point where
Yeah, where I start to
it,
cringe a little bit.
exactly.
So, and mostly because it requires a lot of organization too. Like you got to really keep your individual cards well organized. You got to keep everything really tight. You got to know where they are when you want to sell them. You want to know where they are. You got to pay attention to the single card prices. It is a little bit of an effort, but that's why we do that for you.
Yeah,
So
we're keeping an eye on these things.
that way the listeners can just kind of roll with it.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, in the future, I think in the near future, probably once this series of the unreleased guilds, I think we're going to start reviewing some of our previous picks, and also make that a more regular part of our programming, so that people can get a sense for how have we done with our picks. So
Absolutely. Yeah, we need to have that kind of loop to see.
yeah, come back around and see what
Hmm.
we're up to. Yeah.
Exactly.
So I think that's a good bit of news for the week. So if you don't have your modern staples and you need them, now's the time to
Go
get
get
them.
them.
Yep, it's the time for that. So
Absolutely.
yep. All right. Did you want to move on to some of your picks here?
Yeah, let's
So
go into
just
it.
to
So we've
review,
been,
we've got the Orzov week.
yeah, if everyone's been staying tuned here, we've been going through the different guilds that are upcoming in the new Ravnica Allegiance, and so far we've talked about Simic, and we've talked about
Rakdos.
Rakdos, yes, red black. So we're moving on now to Orzov, which is red black white.
Yep. One of my favorite of the colors, probably of the guild colors. I think it's probably my preference.
Pretty good. I think I'm trying to remember. In the past, Orzov has been had some
They
weird
had the
mechanics.
extort. They had the
We had
extort.
extort. I really liked extort. I think that's pretty powerful. And
Yeah, I
the
enjoy that.
even weirder one, haunt, way back,
Yeah. Yeah.
which was just kind of an odd death trigger kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I
so
like I
we'll
like the
see
extort
if
a lot.
any of those come back into play here or something similar.
What are your thoughts on mechanics that we might see? Any guesses?
You
That's another
know,
thing I thought maybe we should try to guess what mechanics might be coming.
mechanics. Yeah, I think we might see more of a rise in spirits. There's been a bit of a spirit
Resurgence.
sub theme and resurgence here. We had I think the new Spirit Lord as well. The Supreme Phantom was fairly recent.
Yep.
So possibly something more with spirits. And then after that, it's anyone's guess. I think still, some traditional things of sacrificing, sacrifice outlets, life gain.
Yeah, I think we're due for some sacrifice stuff. I don't think we've had as much as I think we could, because the Orzhov, every once in a while you'll see they have thralls and stuff as well. So
Yep.
I think we're due for. I think we might be due for some sacrifice stuff or some funny graveyard shenanigans.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that part. Maybe it's time for something more graveyard related. I'm trying to think of how that would vary though, because we've seen some more graveyard stuff recently. I feel with what was it, an Ixalan, I guess, with the Undergrowth. There's been
Yep.
kind of graveyard related.
Then we've got
With
the
very related things.
we've got that surveil that throws things into the
Throw
graveyards.
things into the graveyard.
So I feel like we might be due for a graveyard mechanic with the Orzhov. I think we haven't seen a hard, strict graveyard mechanic with them yet, and I think it fits the flavor. So I think we might be due for something like that. Either that or some sort of sacrifice thing. That's my thought.
Sacrifice thing,
We'll
yeah.
see.
I mean, I'm sure there's probably, I wouldn't be surprised some more zombie stuff. There's always a couple zombies around.
Yeah. I could almost see like even something where like every time one of your creatures goes to the graveyard, your opponent takes a damage or something like that. I could see
Yeah.
some mechanic like that, some sort of trigger upon entering the graveyard or something. We'll see.
Yeah.
It's all conjecture. Sometimes
Absolutely.
it's fun to guess. But
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I mean, I'm something more tokens of some sort. I can see that. Um,
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe some more sort of enchantments that are, I don't know, kind of crippling enchantments. Like when this creature dies, you gain something, or I don't know, something
Yeah.
else.
guess we'll find out. Time will tell.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll soon see.
Did you want to throw out your?
Yeah, I had a couple picks. I gotta say, when I looked through the cards and I wrote down a bunch of picks, but I felt that out of all of them, nothing really just really jumped
Grabbed
into my mind and said this is, a definite, definite card that
I could see that. I
Yeah,
could
I
believe that too.
feel really strongly about the card pool that was there. But there are some things I think that are still worth looking at. The first one I had here, this is
Curious
from
if we ever
Ixalan.
have any overlap. We'll find out.
Oh yeah, that's always
Yeah.
curious. I think I could have some guesses about what you might pick.
You know what? I don't have any
Especially
Ixalan.
one. I have one guess. I will say we'll see if it's right.
All right.
So one of my picks here was from Ixalan, Ashes of the Abhorrent. This is a white card. It's a white enchantment. It's one colorless, one white mana. We talked about graveyards. This is right up that alley. Players can't cast spells from graveyards or activate abilities of cards in graveyards. Whenever a creature dies, you gain 1 life. So this might go along with the graveyard theme, or it might go work the opposite depending on what comes out
see.
and be a sideboard graveyard hate card.
I see. Yeah, this is not bad.
It's
Yeah.
so cheap and it does multiple things. I like all it's
Yeah.
stopping casting, it's stopping activated abilities, and it gives you life. I mean,
Yeah, a little bit of life gain. I like it.
triple play on that one.
I like it. I like it.
And right now it's only about 25 cents or so.
Yeah, it's a great deal.
I don't think it's gonna get too high ever. I mean, maybe $3 or something max. But I could see that it could have some synergies, especially if it's such a low casting cost. It's really easy to play.
Yeah, it's not bad. Not bad.
Yeah. So did you have a pick?
I do. So my first pick is a little bit higher on the cost spectrum that I like to go with the picks, but it's still not anything too obscene. I feel that this is probably my highest overall confidence pick, and there's a couple of reasons for that. The first is that it's mythic, so it's a little bit more restricted. The second is that it has fantastic casual appeal and could go in commander decks and even just general decks as well. And it fits the Orzov theme, assuming we end up with token generation.
I'm going to take a guess here. Does the first letter begin with B?
No, it does not.
Oh, okay. All right.
No, it does not.
I'll try
This is a mythic enchantment. It's white. It's 2 white and 3 colorless, and it's Divine Intervention.
Oh,
and
very
Divine Intervention's it's a very powerful effect. It says if one or more creature tokens would be created under your control, create that many 4/4 white angel flying vigilance tokens instead. So that is pretty much game winning when you've got a token generation. So and tokens are so common in this game. That creature tokens galore. And typically in white. You've got white and green creature tokens. You've got white and red creature tokens. You've got creature tokens, but
every which way.
Mostly white is somehow involved in the token generation. So this card at $3.60, while a little bit high, I think will hold its value moving forward. I don't think you have to worry about it dropping too much. And I could see it spiking if we have some sort of black-white tokens standard style deck, which I think could happen. So if that happens, this card goes to $12. And if it doesn't, I think it'll slowly creep up like in-demand commander cards to probably, an $8 level. It may take a little while, but it really just depends on what gets released. But I'm confident that this one shouldn't really go down. So I think you're safe with this pick because I don't think it's going to go anywhere.
Okay.
So
wait, you mean Divine Visitation?
Divine, what I say?
Intervention.
Oh,
that's
God,
different.
yeah.
That is a card, but that's
crap.
way
Divine
old
Visitation. Yeah, my fault on that one.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I know what you were talking about, but just to be clarified.
Oh, yeah. Heck yeah. Oh, God, yeah. Divine Intervention's the old card. It's like a Legends card or whatever with that little bird falcon thing on it. Yeah, Divine Visitation is what I'm talking about. I'm sorry. Whenever you create a token, you get a 4/4 Angel Vigilant token. Yeah. So, Divine Visitation. Yeah. So that's my number one pick. My highest confidence pick as well.
Nice. My next pick here is another one here from Ixalan. This is the Blood Crazed Paladin. He is 1 colorless, 1 black mana. He's a vampire knight. He's a 1/1 creature. He's got flash, and he enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each creature that died this turn. So, we're talking about graveyard, creature removal. I think this guy he's just a real, I think, cheap, easy to play card that could fit in a lot of places. You have a deck that's heavy in removal. You have a deck that's with vampires. It's always nice to have flash. I think you can kind of work this guy in a bunch of different ways. And, in the +1 counters, too, there's always, themes with the +1 counters. And I like him he's an ultra cheap pickup. I'll put that out there right now, too. You can get this guy super cheap.
It's like 20 cents.
Exactly. So you can't go wrong with him. I think he's a pretty good little vampire. You might have to build around him a little bit. But, he could definitely pull it off. Excellent.
So. Yeah, I like it, especially if you've got, sacrifice things of that nature. So.
Exactly.
Yeah. I've got, my second pick is,
Let me guess.
Okay.
I'm going to say, does it start with the letter M?
It does not.
Okay. All right. keep going on.
This one is a rare. This one's kind of along the lines of your more recent pick. It's a much less expensive card, and it's a rare from M19. It is 2 black and a colorless. It's a black legendary creature, and it's called Izraeth the Awakener. Izareth the Awakener. And this card is 40 cents. It is 3 mana for a 3/3 death touch, with the upside that says whenever it attacks, you may pay X. When you do, return target creature card with converted mana cost of X from your graveyard to the battlefield with a corpse counter on it.
Yep.
If that creature would leave the battlefield, exile it instead. So basically, she's a 3/3 death touch for 3. When she attacks, she grabs something from the graveyard, pops it into play. And so this is just making plays off the graveyard is effectively my thought on that. And it's on curve or better than curve for what it does. 3/3 for 3 with death touch and upside is it's a human wizard. So I think not a bad card. I could see that really just depending on if you're dumping cards into your graveyard and then bam you want to slap them into play, you drop this girl and you start bringing out critters. So not only that, she's gonna get some kills. They're either not gonna block her because the death touch, or they are, and she's gonna kill something bigger than 3/3. So
sure.
So that's my my second pick. Izareth the Awakener.
That card again?
It's called Izareth. Isareth. Izareth the Awakener. She's got like a vulture, like a turkey vulture on her head or something. And it's a pretty good card.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen that online or whatever. It's people. I have seen it in the arena. It's in some of my decks on the arena, and it always goes over well for me every time. I'm never unhappy to get this card in my hand. Let me put it that way. So
good. I don't think I've
seen too much of it.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 mana for 3/3 is a fair price to pay. 3 mana for 3/3 with death touch, bonus, and then dropping critters from your grave into play, even more bonus.
That is a perfect pick.
So I think it just fits the Orzov theme, and I think it's a good card. And So, and I think that one could be built around in the future too. So I think at 40 cents, tough to go wrong with that bad boy.
Yeah, agreed. I really thought you were gonna go with Mausoleum Secrets.
Oh gosh, what's that one? Let me see.
You used it on the arena. I think. Yeah. You used it on the arena.
Have.
That's why I was saying it. So I was like, oh, it's gonna be that one.
Trying to find out what that one does.
That's the search through your library based on the features in the grave.
Yeah, I think that one's already kind of pricey though. That one's the new demonic tutor.
Yeah, it's kind of like a demonic tutor.
Yeah, I can't find it for some reason. Let's see,
Mausoleum.
Mausoleum Secrets. Okay, let's see, how much is that bad boy? Oh my gosh, it's only 50 cents.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it's pretty cheap.
Oh, it is pretty cheap. I just assumed it would be a lot.
No,
that's what I get for being
yeah.
Oh, that's somewhat surprising. Huh.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of surprised that one's as cheap it is, especially with all the what's that blue-black mechanic of throwing things in the grave? All the surveils around.
Surveil, yeah.
Because you could build your graveyard. That's kind of surprising. Yeah. I guess it's conditional, so I guess that's why it's not as sought after. But.
Yeah.
Man, that is a tempting one, but no, I still like my girl.
Okay.
I like
All right.
I like how she drops things into play. I like how she's a beater, and she's hard to block, and she's just on curve. I mean, she's the kind of card I would search up with the Mausoleum Secrets. So
yeah, pretty good.
So very good. So I think that's about it for this week.
I think to recap on our cards, I had Ashes of the Abhorrent and Blood Crazed Paladin, and Devin had Divine Visitation.
Yes.
And Izareth the Awakener.
Absolutely.
So check those all out. Pretty good deals on all of those. Nothing was terribly expensive.
No. Also, check out the website too.
Check it out. Yeah, go to there. We've got, as always, we have new episodes here dropping every Thursday. You can check out the website, check out YouTube, check out Arena. We always have something going on here, and we've got some more, two more guilds to go, I think, right?
We do. We've got Gruul, and we've got Azorius.
Yes.
So
exactly.
Oh wait, did we see Azorius?
No, we did.
No, we saw Azorius. We have Gruul for sure.
Have Gruul. We're very well organized.
I know, right? Well, Gruul is going to be next week, so that's what we'll do.
Yes. Stay tuned for Gruul.
Very good.
And as always, may your picks always be profitable. We'll talk to you guys again soon.
Later.
See ya.